Tap in, family, tap in, tap in. Can everybody hear me? Friday. Friday, peace and love, peace and love. Can everybody hear me? Stop wearing them headphones. Few beans though, few information, free information, y'all, free information. All right, cool. Free information. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Free information. Free information. Sharing is caring. Do you dare to share? All right, peace and love, y'all. Peace and love, peace and love. Quick live. Endorsement, performance. Okay. Just a disclaimer for anybody that's on this journey of exercising your rights. Please keep paying your bills how you've been paying them. Okay. When you're fully comfortable with enforcing your rights by way of performance. Okay. All right. Then you can make those type of measures. All right. But if you're still piecing this process together, or any process, all right, please do not stop paying your bills how you've been paying your bills. All right. A lot of people get this information, and the first thing they think to themselves is, I don't got to pay the bill. Okay, I don't got to pay no more bills. And they just abruptly stop doing anything. All right. A lot of people tell themselves, well, I know what to do. I know how to endorse a bill. It's not about just knowing what to put on a bill. Okay, you have to actually know the process, family. And you got to be able to show your work. You can't just take a class and just say, oh, damn, yeah, I know how to endorse a bill. We just put pay to the bearer. Oh, we just put accepted on the bill. No, you got to know way more than that. You got to know what to do if they don't accept the bill. You got to know what to do when they say, hey, we don't take this form of payment. All right, because a lot of companies, majority companies, is going to hit you back with a response by saying, hey, we do not accept this form of payment. This is not a way of payment. Please send cash, check, or money order. All right, and if you don't know how to enforce your bill of exchange, okay, you're just going to be a very emotional person saying, they're not taking my stuff. They're not taking my stuff. Whole time, you have to know how to enforce your documents. Okay, you got to know how to enforce your documents. So again, y'all, this information is free. All right, this information is free. Okay, all this information is Googleable. You can go down to your courthouse and just ask them, hey, what do I do if my rights are violated? They may ask you questions like, well, which rights was violated? A lot of people don't know which rights was violated when they say, hey, man, they're not taking my negotiable instrument. Okay, which rights was violated? What were you trying to go forth and claim? Interest, right? So you got to ask yourself, do you have a right to that interest? Well, of course you do. Without you, there would be no interest, okay? Without you giving certain credentials to open up that account, meaning the application, without that application, there is no account. Yeah, the POA helps enforce, but just because you send the POA don't mean they just gonna get out your way. What if I send my POA? What if I send my instructions? And what if I send my contract? All right, I said all that to them, and they still be like, nah, we don't know what this is. Then what? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah, people know the steps by steps, but people really don't know the process. People are not really seeing the whole picture. People are just trying to rush to get out their bills, and this is not a rushed process. This is something you really got to take your time with. All right? Nobody ever just learned this one day and then had remedy next week. Nobody's ever did that. All right? And I truly believe nobody will ever do that, because this is not something you just, all right? It's not something you just, okay, oh, what I do next? What I do next? Okay, bet I'm about to go do that now. Man, hell no. if you gotta ask that, if you gotta ask a question like, what do I do next? What do I do next? Like, meaning you should sit down and figure out the whole game plan. It's like going into a game with a half game plan. You don't really know what to do if they counter. You just trying to go offense, 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 offense. No real defense. Yeah, this is definitely a marathon. All right, this is where you're building your foundation, building your clarity. Okay, just for those that's taking my class this weekend, just because you take this class this weekend don't mean you should start sending your stuff in Monday. But I know that there's going to be a lot of people that's just going to send off their stuff on Monday. All right, then ask themselves, well, I got the class. I just was going to just go buy the class. And because people are really not caring about the process. People are really not respecting the process. People like to be ha-ha, he, and, oh, man, you're doing some wonderful things. But they really don't care about the process. They just care to find an easier way to do something. And a lot of people think, well, you say it's easier to perform than pay. Yeah, but it's the hardest part is learning how to perform. Then it gets easy. Okay? I did the same thing. Before I knew all the information I had to know to get Remedy, I was just sending stuff in. I wasn't reading nothing. I was like, oh, what we sending next? Nobody from that group ever got Remedy. And I bet nobody from that group still ain't never had Remedy. Because I've been left that group. All right, but you got to respect the process, y'all. I don't know. Somebody said how long. I don't know how long. How much time do you put in? All right, if we get 3 people. All right, if we get 3 people. And those 3 people are, let's say they have a goal that they want to reach their certain weight or something like that. That's like me asking 3 people, hey, how long is it going to take you to get to the shape that you need to be in? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's going to depend on, okay, how much did that first person put in? How much work did that second person put in? How much work did that third person put in? The one that puts in the most work is going to have the more clear results. All right, so asking the question is like, hey, man, how long does it take? Man, it doesn't have a timetable on it. It all depends on what is your intel on the process. What are you going to do if they don't accept your first documents? Are you going to sit around and wait for them to just throw some remedy in your lap? No. You got to know how to enforce. Yeah, like you're not going to perfect this, is what I'm saying. I know there's a lot of perfectionists. Like I said, I respect that as well. But it's like with this, you're not going to perfect this because it's just so much information. Yeah, I thought I was going live too, but I got some restrictions on IG. Somebody said I talk like I got all this information from the penitentiary, and I was like, I ain't never been to the penitentiary, pussy. And I got my account restricted, so yeah, that's why we here. So yeah, power of attorney is very important. Okay, a power of attorney is definitely important, but people have to remember, just because you send in a template does not mean anything, family. You can send in the best worded power of attorney. You can send in the best worded instructions. You can send in the best worded tender of payment. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about what you send in. It's about what you enforce. All right? So a lot of people might say, hey, man, that stuff don't work. I tried it, because they didn't know how to enforce. All right? This is not something like you just send in, family. This is not for children. That makes sense. This is not for children. This is for adults who can comprehend. A lot of people are reading and not comprehending what they're reading. They're just saying, well, Mansa said 15 USC 1605 shit. I'm about to just go ahead and... I mean, bro, you said we supposed to put on the back. Our signatures do it on the front or the back. Because I'm ready to send this off now. No, you're not. Okay? Alright? If anybody that feels like their paperwork didn't get to the destination, just send it again. just send it again. All right? Just send it again. If you feel like your document didn't get to the storage unit, just send it. When in doubt, just send it again. That way, at least you'll know, okay, maybe they got it and didn't say nothing, or maybe you messed up, but just to clarify everything, just send it again. Just send exactly what you sent the first time, send it again. Y'all gotta remember the whole purpose of notice. We are sending these documents in to give these corporations notice. All right? Because a gentleman is going to send notice before he arrives. All right? You don't want to just show up at somebody's door unannounced. Okay? So the purpose of us sending these documents to these corporations is, yeah, we want them to apply the balance. But we got to be real, y'all. They're not just about to move out the way just because we sent a well-dressed letter or a power of attorney. Or just because we say, hey, if you don't do this, I'm going to sue you. All right? Because those are fighting words. And they have attorneys that are ready to fight, meaning litigation. Okay? So, again, just because you take a class and you just send off documents, family, if you do not know how to enforce, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. Somebody said, can I resend the retail installment contract I've been in almost 3 years? Family, go research rights to rescind. Go ask that same question to Google. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being dead serious, family. There's so many resources on Google. Let me ask you a question. Have you asked that question to Google? Have you asked Google, hey, can I rescind my contract? Yeah, you can rescind any contract. You got the right to rescind. All right? But my thing is, you're not going to learn that on a live. You see what I'm saying? You're going to learn that in the studies. That's where you build the comprehension. Because I can tell you all day, yeah, you can do that. Just go send that in, send that in. And then a lot of people be like, okay, bro, bet. What you say, send in? I'm about to send that in now. You see what I'm saying? It's not, and I don't teach like that. I kind of teach people to kind of read for themselves, read enough to be able to comprehend what they're reading. Like I don't never give templates. All right, because a person should be able to be their own template. You should be able to look at a document and be like, yo, I know exactly what I want to do with this document. I know exactly who I am in this transaction. All right, if this document doesn't get processed, I have to know how to enforce it. Because if I don't know how to enforce it, I'm just sending documents. That's it. I'm just sending paperwork, getting mad, switching up my process. A lot of folks, they send their 1, 2, 3 letters, and then that don't work, then they off to go find another process. They be like, oh, I tried the endorsement. I'm about to go focus on equity. It's all the same. They be like, I'm not focused on endorsement anymore. I'm focusing on the TDA account. I'm like, what? You think it's gonna be a template for that? Folks just going around taking classes to get templates. And these same people is the ones that are on people's comments saying, that stuff didn't work, I tried it. They didn't try anything. All they did was copy and paste and loss. In that order. Copy, paste, loss. Copy, paste, loss. And then they hung it up. All right, this process isn't for anybody that's in a desperate situation. For anybody that is in a need situation, my apologies, but this information is not for you. All right, because a desperate mind is not going to be able to comprehend the small details that's needed, all right, to be able to get remedy. A desperate mind is going to be trying to find the fast way of doing things. Like, I need this quick, bro. I need a house now. You see what I'm saying? There's no law that says, hey, yeah, just say this and you'll get a house now. There's rights saying, hey, you have a right to a home, but you also have to know how to enforce that right if somebody tries to impede on that right. All right? In that order. In that order. You have the right to a home. You have a right to transportation. You have a right to eat. That's why they have the Food Stamp Act. They got the Federal Home Association. Okay, what else they got? They got Truth in Lending, so you're gonna get you a car. They got Truth in Lending, so you can get you a credit card. Now, is it something that you just go get? No, fam. You gotta learn how to enforce your rights to those benefits. All right, remember, we all have government names. Each one of our government name has government benefits that the representative of that government name is supposed to be collecting. The representatives for the government names, meaning my government name, I'm the representative for my government name. Meaning I need to collect all the benefits that's due to my government name. All right, in that order. But if I'm not collecting my benefits on the government name, what am I doing? I'm losing benefits. If I'm losing benefits, how can I possibly be thinking I'm living the best life I could possibly live? Imagine people that don't even know their rights and they're telling themselves, I'm okay with my life. I like my life. You know, I got a good job. You know, my bills paid. You know, I get 1 day off on the week. I get to take my family on vacation 2 times a year. You know, that's pretty good for the average person. It's like we always compare ourselves to the bare minimum. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. See, yeah. Good shit, Christian. Yeah, some people getting it, bro. Like I say, some people getting remedy. All right. Some people, also some people are destined to learn this too, family. Because y'all can sit down with somebody for hours and try to make this make sense. They'll just be nodding their heads like, yeah. But it's like when we leave that conversation, it's be like, man, what? Can you say that again? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you can sit down with another person, same conversation. They just like, man, I follow everything you saying, man. It's like my soul is drawn to this. I mean, when I first heard this information, man, my soul was drawn to it, man. I didn't need to see nobody have remedy. I'm going to be real. I didn't even know what the word remedy meant. I didn't know what that was. All I heard was, hey, there's no law that says you got to pay a bill. But there is a law that says a debt collector cannot hassle you for a bill. And I'm like, what? Because I started with the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act as well, which is some good information. All right. A lot of credit repair specialists utilize the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. All right. And the Fair Credit Reporting Act. All right. A lot of credit repair people utilize those. All right. And those are great ways to enforce your rights. But imagine if you was doing it on another level. You see what I'm saying? All right. So that's when I first came to this information. That's the first acts I was hearing. I didn't know nothing about no Bill of Exchange Act. I didn't know nothing about no damn Federal Reserve Act. All right. And I damn sure didn't know what the word remedy meant. I didn't know what that meant. I was just so much in awe of the information. I wasn't trying to pocket watch people and, hey, man, show me what you got. I started doing that later on when I was like, okay, damn, we can get any car. Okay, bet. So, yeah, where your Rolls Royce at? Where your mansion at? I used to say the same thing. Then it's like, yo, it ain't just because you know your rights don't mean it's just no walk in the park, y'all. Everything is a challenge, okay? Everything is a process. Everything is time consuming. No matter how much information you know. If you don't put aside the time to put in that matter, okay? That matter is just going to be procrastinated. It's just going to go next week, a month, a year. Then you look up like, damn, I forgot all about that. Because you're moving on to the next thing. Not saying that's a good thing. All right, but it's a lot of information, family, that is free, Googleable. Okay? Let's say I didn't know anything, right? And somebody just told me this information today. First thing I'm about to do, all right, is I'm about to go on my court's website. All right, I'm going to go see about the resources they have for pro se litigants. All right, what is a pro se litigant? A pro se litigant is basically somebody that is representing themselves. All right, if I was to go hire a lawyer, I would not be pro se because I would be hiring somebody else's capacity. Okay? Now, you got to remember, these same lawyers are utilizing the same rights that we're supposed to be utilizing. All right? It's no different. They're literally using the same documents that a pro se litigant would use if they was representing themselves. Just go ask a lawyer. They walk down to the courthouse and say, I need this form right here. And they just charge it to the client. Simple. 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 If you hire a lawyer to go sue somebody, they're going to ask, okay, let me hear your case. Okay, cool, we can sue for that. All right, cool. So they're going to go down to the courthouse, or they're going to e-file it. They're going to e-file an eviction notice, okay? But that's no difference between a pro se litigant filing an eviction notice against somebody. It's the same stuff, y'all. They don't have, like, special documents because they went to law school. All they did was go to these law schools, all right, learn how to look at the law from a corporation standpoint, or should I say from a debtor standpoint, not really for the benefit of exercising a consumer's rights, unless they're a consumer rights lawyer, okay? And even those lawyers, a lot of times, don't really be knowing the in-depths of Truth in Lending Act. You can call a consumer law lawyer today. Find a consumer law lawyer in your area and just start asking them questions about truth in lending. Hey, I think I have that's like going to a dealership getting denied and letting the dealership know, hey, you have a right to contract. Because if you get denied of being able to contract due to a credit score, that's impeding on your right to contract, family. All right? If you have the capacity to contract, no one can deny you if you're the one that's entering the contract as the investor. Okay? So you got to remember, when you're going to applying for a car and they saying, I got to run your credit score, they're not running your credit score. They're really running your credit card, which is your Social Security account. That's why they give us cards to link to those accounts. No, you can't go to an ATM and pull money off these cards, family. Everybody, they be asking beginner questions like, well, why can't I just go take my money off my card and go use? Because why would you need that money? Because you're going to take that money and go spend it on what? A house, car. There's something called a consumer credit transaction, so you don't have to do those things. You don't need cash. And people might say, well, why do you charge cash for your classes? All right, what else am I supposed to charge a person, okay, if they don't understand or overstand how an endorsed bill works or how a consumer credit transaction works? Okay, now cash is still here. It's still being utilized. As you can see, it's still in rotation. Okay, we ain't gonna act like it ain't. Okay, we ain't gonna act like it's not. It definitely is. All right, but a lot of folks is using it completely wrong. You're not supposed to be using cash on a bill when a bill is already prepaid. You don't pay on a prepaid account. That's why it's called prepaid. Because if you pay on a prepaid account, that means you're repaying. You don't want to repay. Okay? And y'all, I've legally changed my name, y'all. That's not my name anymore. Okay? I've legally changed my name. All right? So, please stop calling me that. That guy is dead. Okay? Moving along. All right? So, somebody said, can you explain issuer for value and issuer for discount? Okay? Who's the issuer? Because you got to think, it's the issuer and the issuee. The issuer is the one that's the payor. The payor is the one that's paying to the payee. So the payee is the one that's receiving the value. We don't get nothing on discounts, family. Why? Because it's our security. Why would we need a discount on our security? So the one that needs a discount will be the borrower. You see what I'm saying? So the borrower is the one that needs a discount. Or after they do a certain performance, they get a discount. See, we don't need a discount because, nah, you good, you good. I didn't know that was you. My bad. But to get a discount, that means you must be a borrower. Now, if you're the one that's giving the discount, see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. Getting the discount and giving the discount. Like giving the value and getting the value. We're the ones that give the value. All right? And these corporations are receiving the value from us. The problem is when we go forth and try to exercise our valuable consideration, that's when problems start to come. All right, that's when they start to be like, oh, no, you don't have no interest. I'm like, how don't I have any valuable consideration inside this contract? When the 6 elements of a contract, one of the main ones is valuable consideration. If I didn't have valuable consideration in this contract, I would have never entered this contract, which would trigger my rights to rescind. For the brother that asked about the right to rescission. All right. But yeah, it's a lot of information, family. And this is not even 0.1% of the information, okay? I'm not a guru, all right? I don't know everything, okay? But I can definitely teach you how to endorse a bill properly, okay? Again, I don't know everything. So a lot of people ask me, hey, man, have you heard of that? What about this? What about, like, man, if it don't got nothing to do with the Bill of Exchange, the Federal Reserve Act, the Sesticate Vi Act, the Constitution, it's right. I'm really not informed on it. All right, I'm not too proud to say that. I'm not really too much informed if it ain't got nothing to do with the bill. I'm kind of like those people that be like, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. All right, meaning if it don't have value to me, it don't make sense. All right, meaning if it don't got nothing to do with this process, no offense to all the other process, but I found my lane in this process right here. And I'm just here for those that want to also make a home in this lane, because there's a bunch of other lanes, okay? But it's all about which lane are you going to take serious. I took this lane serious. I cut off a lot of friends, a lot of family members, all right? Also had to cut off a lot of things that I used to like to do, okay? All right, because a lot of those things was distractions. Reading just to read is only going to get you so far. But when you eliminate distractions and then start to read, it's like that comprehension starting to come. Every time. All right, every time. Not sometimes, every time. All right, I still read the Bill of Exchange Act today, and I read that act over 1,000 times. Okay, just from teaching. I done taught so many one-on-ones, so many classes breaking down the Bill of Exchange, and it's still, when I read, I'm like, damn. People might be thinking I'm being animated. Like, hell no, I'm still be amazed too. Like, yo, this is undisputable. Okay, this information is undisputable. You can't, come on now, you can't do nothing with this information. All the person can do is say, no, that's not true. Well, show us. That's all the loser can say. That's all an uninformed person can say. Show us a car. Show us a house. Show us an unlimited credit card. Like, what? like you walk to somebody saying, show us your bank account. I'm like, what? I hope people do know this information is public, but the process is private. This information is public, okay? But the process is private, y'all. Why you think there's no public process on how to do anything? It's just a bunch of acts, laws, and you're supposed to put your comprehension together and piece this whole puzzle together. All right? There's not no, hey, send this in. If they don't do that, there's no... Yeah, so even the Bill of Exchange Act, it just tells you what a bill is, okay, and what the things to put on the bill. But the Bill of Exchange Act doesn't tell you what to do if they don't accept that bill. It don't tell you. Okay, so where should we go? Which act, which law, or I should say act, which act should we go where it talks about enforcing our rights. We would have to go with something called civil procedures, criminal procedures. Okay, you see how we got to cross-reference? All right? See how we got to cross-reference? A lot of people are like, I read the Bill of Exchange Act, I'm ready. No, you're not. You're nowhere near ready. The Bill of Exchange Act just teaches you how to break down the bill. Meaning you have to read that to be able to comprehend it. After that, now you got to learn about, okay, what happens after I endorse this bill and they basically deny my endorsement. All right? So think about it. If I got all I can get out of the Bill of Exchange Act, okay, the next part I need to go to is, okay, what do I do when a consumer's rights are being impeded on? That's a Googleable question. Because then it's going to tell you about, okay, here are ways to enforce your rights, or here's how to file a claim if your rights are violated. See what I'm saying? Like, comprehension is going to allow you to ask more competent questions. A lot of people, no offense, we ask a lot of dumb questions. How do I get a free car? How do I go get a house with no down payment? Like, you can't Google that. And then people are like, well, why not? If it's true, then why I should be able to, like, come on, man. Because it's not in layman's terms. It's in law terms. It's going to say that, but it's not going to say it like that. It ain't going to say, hey, this is how you go get a free car. This is how you get a free house, because nothing is free. We're still paying, but by way of performing. We're not paying with income. We're not paying with cash. We're not debiting the account, okay? We're crediting the account. Two totally different things. All right, and that's with all accounts, family. That's not with some accounts. That's with all accounts. No matter how big the bill is, no matter how small the bill is. There are acts out here that are free, that are placed here for us to read and for us to enforce. All right? Now, I know I said nothing's free. Yes, this information is free, but you still have to pay attention. All right? And that is very costly for a lot of people. Okay? A lot of people ain't got much capacity to pay attention. All right? Because they broke mentally. They ain't got nothing to spend mentally. Because all their mental space is being exerted by a bunch of distractions. All right? You can't even really focus on anything. You know what I mean? People tell me, man, I want to learn this, but I just got so many things going on. And I'd be like, well, what you got going on? And they be like, I work. You know, I got these kids. You know, I take a dance class. You know, I'm like, man, what? All that's more important than your rights? When it's literally telling you you can live a bill stress-free life if you know your rights. Because if you don't use your rights, you lose your rights. So it's like if I don't go claim my benefits, I lose my benefits. So imagine how much I'm leaving on the table by telling myself I'm too busy to learn my rights. That's the goofiest shit ever. All right, that's the goofiest shit ever. Folks be like, oh, nah, that class too high. I'll catch you on next time. Okay, until you get the money for a class, why not still Google this information? It's like we make a lot of excuses for ourselves. I usually make excuses too. All right, but when I seen how real this information was, man, it was no excuses. None. Not at all. I told my kids, mama, hey, these rights and laws is more important than my kids. Cause you got a lot of moms that be like, well, my kids come first. I be like, man, how your kids gonna come first when you don't even know your rights? Meaning you leading your kids down a dead end. Because you're about to live an uninformed life. All your advice is gonna be from an uninformed standpoint because you're not utilizing your rights. All right, so yeah, I had to tell my kids, mama, hey man, these rights way more important than my kids. Any day. And I love my kids with everything in me. All right, but I'm nothing without my rights. I can't be the best dad ever not knowing my damn rights. I'm going to be a stressed out dad, a burnt out daddy, okay? Back thrown out when I'm old. I don't want to be one of them dads. I want to be doing backflips when I'm 50. Right? You know what I'm saying? Jacking my son up when I'm 60. What? What you say, boy? Okay? I can't do that if I've been working 40 years for a corporation. No offense to all the brothers that have done it, but I'm here to let you know it's time to get back what you've put in. All right? Because just like those brothers that's been working all those years, being a great dad, all right? But there's a certain life that you basically didn't know about. Okay? And if it wasn't meant for you to know about it, you wouldn't be hearing this from me right now. Okay? Because there's some people that would never hear this information. Okay? The fact that you're on this live right now, all right, divine timing, you hearing this right now, real live, right now, right here. Okay? You could have been anywhere in the world. But you hearing this information right, just like me. When I was at work, I heard this information. I was like, what in the world? No law say you got to pay a bill. I was like, damn, okay. Shit, where I read at? What? Quit my job. Quick. I had a little money left over. Like, I'm going to say I quit my job with nothing, okay? I wouldn't advise nobody just abruptly quit their job with not having some, you know, say, little wiggle room, okay? So I had a little wiggle room. So when I quit, okay, I was able to go all in. I was able to put my full time. And I put a lot of pressure on myself because I was like, yo, my money going to run out soon. So I got to get it. I can't play around with it. I got to know how to enforce these rights. I got to know what to say when and I was doing everything wrong. Okay? So I'm just like, literally, I'm probably the best person to learn from when you're a beginner. All right? Because I'm going to really tell you exactly what you need to do. I can give you no extra information, no information that's not going to be needed. There's a lot of people out here giving information that's unnecessary, has nothing to do with the bill, okay? You can't even read what a lot of these people is teaching. You ask them, where you get that from? They'll say, well, it's just, can't tell you nowhere where it says we need to go get a TDA account. It's never said that, no, and no law that was ever say that, okay? Not saying you can't utilize that. I'm not saying these people are wrong, okay? But I'm here to let y'all know you do not need to do some outside shit to get something that's already been sent to you. That bill is already being sent to you. So why would I need to take this and put it into another whole account when I can just transfer this credit back to the issuer who sent it to me? Okay? So I feel like the simplest way to move is simply by following directions. And you can't follow directions more than reading what the law is saying. I'm going off what the law said and using that as my defense. I can't use hearsay as a defense. I can't say it's common knowledge. I can't use that as a defense. All right, I got to be able to prove why my claims are true. All right. So that's the message of the day, y'all. Remember, all this information is Googleable, y'all. Any questions you ever have, ask Google first. You don't gotta wait on the live. All right, but you want to ask Google in a competent way. You don't want to ask Google a dumb question like, how do I get a car for free without a down payment? Y'all, that is not an intelligent question. You want to ask things like, hey, just like the brother, how to rescind a contract? Hey, what do I do if my rights are violated? Keep it very vague, because when you see that, okay, when your rights are violated, you do this. Now you're just plugging in the rights that they violated. All right, because the internet, they can't give you legal advice. All right, but they can give you like a broad perspective. All right, when you asking a vague question like, hey, what do I do when my rights are being violated? So they're going to tell you, hey, you need to file a claim with your local courthouse. Is it civil? Is it criminal? All right. So, yeah, y'all, that's what it is, y'all. Make sure y'all stay up. Make sure y'all get the class this weekend if you can. If you can't, it's okay. This information is free online. All right. The class is only $50. All right. For the folks that make it to the class, it will be $50, and the recording will be $50 as well. Meaning it will be $100 for the whole package. For lifetime use for this class, it will be $100. Okay. For those that don't have a ticket and you can't make it this weekend, the class will be $222. All right, it's $222 for the first 30 days, and then it's going back to regular price of $888. Okay, so get it while you can. Again, it's not mandatory for you to get this for you to get remedy. All right, because this information is free, it's public. All right, but just to have a more put together process and direction, okay, you can get that from one of my classes. All right, but with that being said, y'all, peace and love. Make sure y'all keep reading. Make sure y'all keep studying. All right, and make sure you're not living normal. All right.